Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do on here. We've got over 700 audios available in the archive for your listening pleasure. Hopefully, there's something or many things that will be of benefit to you. Haven't been around in a little while, planning a move. Don't exactly know when that's going to happen, so if I disappear for a few weeks, please understand that I will be back. It's just a matter of trying to put moving places in or moving parts in place. In any event, good changes are what we're focusing on today. Changes you can make that will improve the quality of your life. And so, if you are committed to that process and you're interested in that, would love to be of service to you as a coach, both in 2021 and beyond. You're listening to this at a later date. And there's a couple ways you can get in contact. Reach out at PO Perception on Twitter or in the About Me section of this YouTube page. A couple of things you can do, and we'll run through those now. The first is less phone and technology use. And I am a stickler for this at almost 40. To say that I, in any way, have a good relationship with technology would be an untrue statement. I have worked with thousands of people, closing in on 16,000 now, in the last 14 years, and probably 3 years with a mentor before that, so closer to 17, 18 years. And the dependence on technology, be it computers, be it cell phones, be it tablets, be it texting, has eroded the communication style for the majority of society. And so, if you're truly trying to improve the quality of your relationships and thereby the quality of your life, becoming less reliant on technology as a whole is a guaranteed way to do that, because it will force you to be in front of more people. It will force you to communicate both with body language and more clear and concise verbal communication. It will force you to value people in a different way. Now, I understand that we can't eradicate technology completely from our lives, but something like, do I really need my phone? Do I really need to check my email? Or is it a compulsion? Is it an addiction? Is it something that is leading us to be more or less successful in terms of daily living? Is something worth considering, and a lot of people don't want to consider that because it's habit and it's what everyone else does, and so they look and they go, hey, is this a meaningful thing? Is this something that's good? Is this something that's going to lead somewhere? Or is this something that I'm going to burn out with or come to a place where it's, eventually going to be a negative in the long term of my quality of life? And so hopefully that becomes something that you consider. The next thing to consider is, if you're trying to improve your quality of life, avoid hitting the snooze button. So much time is lost in kind of needless rest. And what I mean by needless rest is 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. Well, imagine if you did 5 more minutes every day. That's 35 minutes a week. That's 2 hours a month. That's nearly half a work week in a year. Now imagine you do that for half an hour a day. You're losing hours every week. And more accurately, you're not really getting complete rest when you hit the snooze button, because your body's already in response mode. So you're actually only getting about a quarter to half the rest you think you're getting when you hit the snooze button. I'm not saying that it's good or bad to do it, and that obviously there are rare occasions where doing so, if you've been sick or unwell, that the snooze button can be helpful just to allow your body to recharge a little bit more. But for the most part, the dependence on snooze button and the dependence on procrastination as a whole, be it with rest, sleep, or other things, is more of a detriment than a positive. The next thing is stay hydrated. If you're truly trying to improve your quality of life, then staying hydrated is important. Hydration allows us to think more clearly. Hydration allows our body to function and allows organ function to be at its best. Hydration also allows us to be clear-minded. It allows less pain in the body because when muscles and tendons are not properly hydrated, you're more likely to tear things, you're more likely to injure yourself, you're also more likely to have soreness and pain. So hydration is super important. The next thing, if you're trying to improve the quality of your life, be willing to say no and stick to it. You know, everyone wants something, and every person wants one thing or another. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's a good thing or a bad thing there. It doesn't necessarily mean that saying no is necessary every time. It just means at the end of the day that you find what you need through finding balance, and balance means the willingness to say no and not be liked. Unfortunately, a lot of people overgive and then get in the habit of overextending themselves. They get so used to saying yes that they burn out, and then they're afraid to lose friends, they're afraid to lose family members, or they're afraid to lose business opportunities on the basis of just the process of saying no. And it's unfortunate because a lot of times you need to say no in order to make time to say yes for the things that are going to improve your life. So finding the boundary to be able to say no without taking things personally, without taking things uh, positively or negatively, and just and knowing that that boundary of no is there, and not really fearing the consequence. Obviously, we want to be as kind to people as we can, but um, it's important to have that boundary. The next is journal or find a way to get your emotions out, and then I'll put along with it process your emotions. So you know, it's important to realize, and actually, I'll put the last three together, and the last one on my list was interrupt impulses. So, the first thing is have an outlet for your negative emotions. This is one of the most important things I tell people to do. Look, you're going to feel sad, you're going to feel angry, you're going to feel overwhelmed, you're going to feel frustrated, you're going to feel taken advantage of, judged, persecuted like an outsider from time to time. This is part of the human experience. All of these emotions are valid. It doesn't mean they have to define you. It doesn't mean that you have to get lost in them. It also doesn't mean that you have to agree when they take over your life or when they negatively impact you. But you do need an outlet for them. That is a way to deal with them and a way to express them. Processing them means kind of working through it. How can I feel differently? How do I want to feel? What is next for me? What needs to happen for me? And ultimately, it's important because when we understand how to process emotions without acting on them, then we maintain control of our lives. Unfortunately, what happens for lots of folks is that they act on the impulses that go on in their brain, and if you can't interrupt your impulse control, a lot of times you'll get into situations where you regret what you've done, and then you have to deal with the long-term, short-term consequences of being able to understand what it is that you're trying to accomplish while still having some level of balance and boundary struggle, both internally and externally. So finding a way to, understand your own impulse control triggers, understand how to control these things, and knowing that there are going to be times you're going to slip, there are going to be times you're going to fall short, but that doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes you kind of not even a victim of circumstance, but a bystander in your own circumstances sometimes. And finding a way to balance is important. So hopefully, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.